Pak Jokowi responds to the claim that he was going to export sea sand. Jokowi denies reopening sea sand exports, claims sea sediment exports. And Netherlands to repatriate 288 Indonesian cultural artifacts. Stay tuned for details on these and other stories. Welcome to the latest news from Bali in Indonesia. This is September 22nd, 2022, and my name is Bruce. The other day, one of the lead stories was about Pak Jokowi and giving an okay to exporting sea sand. Well, he's responded to that. Jokowi denies reopening sea sand exports, claims sea sediment exports. Indonesian President Pak Jokowi denied that his government has reinstated sea sand exports. He clarified that the current exports involve sedimentation. Once again, it is not sea sand, he said. The permits issued are for sedimentation exports. He differentiated between sea sedimentation and sea sand, describing sedimentation as material that obstructs shipping lanes. He said sedimentation is different from sea sand, although both are sand. Sea sand exports have been prohibited for 2 decades. However, the government has reintroduced them through the government Regulation number 26 of 2023 concerning management of sedimentation results at sea. According to Article 1, Paragraph 1 of Government Regulation number 26, 2023, marine sedimentation results are sediments in the sea formed from natural materials due to weathering, erosion, and oceanographic dynamics or marine activities. These sediments can be removed to prevent disruptions to the shipping ecosystem. And here is a story about something that anthropologists are often involved in: repatriation of indigenous artifacts. Netherlands to repatriate 288 Indonesian cultural artifacts. Indonesia and the Netherlands ink a repatriation agreement for 288 Indonesian cultural artifact. The Director General of Cultural Affairs at the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology represented Indonesia in signing the agreement. Meanwhile, the Dutch Minister of Education, Culture, and Science represented the Netherlands. The representatives of the Indonesian Collection Repatriation Team in the Netherlands also attended the signing. This is the second set of recommendations issued by the Colonial Collections Committee. In 2023, Netherlands agreed to repatriate 427 cultural artifacts, including 4 Singosari temple statues, a kris, and other things that were looted from Lombok and the Pitamaha collection. While the first round of repatriation was running, the Colonial Collections Committee reviewed and listed other Indonesian cultural artifacts that must be repatriated by the Dutch. These 288 cultural artifacts are scheduled to arrive home in Indonesia early in October. The objects to be repatriated during this course include several statues from 13th century Singosari Temple and statues of Ganesha and Brahma. 2 Singosari Temple statues complete the collection repatriated in 2023. The Dutch also agreed to repatriate 284 objects from the Puputan Badung collection. These include objects such as weapons, coins, jewelry, and textiles that were taken by the Netherlands after the attack against the Badung and Tabanan principalities in southern Bali in 1906. The current repatriation process as part of the cultural agreement between Indonesia and Netherlands, which was signed in 2017. In addition to taking home Indonesian cultural artifacts, the Dutch also supported research to discover novel knowledge about the Nusantara civilization. Talking about green Indonesia and electric vehicles, wow, we now have electric rickshaw. PBLI launches electric rickshaw for Bali Eco Smart Tourism. The Indonesia Electric Rickshaw Association, PBLI, launched an electric tourist rickshaw made by local people. The electric tourist rickshaw named BEST was launched at the Bali Provincial Transportation Office. BEST stands for Bali Eco Smart Tourism. The launch was carried out by the chairman of the association, and there were a number of bigwigs there, the acting governor of Bali, along with many other people. So we have an electric pedicab in Bali now, and it is hoped that the electric pedicab can increase tourism and also make Bali environmentally friendly. This electric rickshaw has a speed of 15 kilometers per hour with a full electric range of 40 kilometers. The charging time for this vehicle is around 6 hours. This is an ongoing program from President-elect Prabowo. Hopefully, the presence of this electric pedicab can support local domestic tourists, which is a new attraction for Bali as a mainstay of Indonesian tourism. In addition, it's also said that the presence of the electric rickshaw supports the ESG, Environmental, Social, and Corporate Governance Program, and will protect the environment, including reducing traffic jams in Bali, especially around Kuta, Denpasar, and that area down in the south. So, if you've seen an electric rickshaw, well, make a comment, and if you've got a photo, I would love to see it. So, electric rickshaws in Bali. Wow, we got electric rickshaws, we have electric cars, electric motorcycles, electric bicycles, and an excellent program up here in Buleleng for disabled people. Disabled people in Buleleng given training and will be funded for business. This is as a step to raise the spirit of life from Friends of the Disabled. The Buleleng Regency government collaborated with a number of related parties to provide training and business costs. This was seen when a number of disabled teenagers who had graduated from high school or the equivalent were taking part in training and mentoring for a barista at the Bali Plute building some time ago. Head of Trade, Industry, Cooperatives, and SMEs of Buleleng explained that the training was given to people with disabilities who were considered to have a strong will to learn to become reliable and competitive baristas. The training also collaborated with a number of parties who, of course, had reliable competencies according to their fields. This Plute is indeed an inclusive training and mentoring space. This is up here in Buleleng, down that way, over by the main market there. This Plute is indeed an inclusive training and mentoring space. In addition to MSME actors in general, we will also invite people with disabilities to be able to gain technical skills and knowledge. We prepare it specially for them. The Integrated Business Service Center, Plute for MSMEs, is a facility aimed at providing support and services to cooperatives, small and medium enterprises. Providing continuous training for the disabled, it is expected to be able to produce entrepreneurs and business actors for the future. Because Pak Sudiarta said he considered that not only the general public has the right to become business actors, but the disabled have exactly the same rights. In fact, he and several parties have continued to compile community-based cooperative programs for all facilities available at the Buleleng Plute building. In the future, we will continue to synergize with existing communities to improve skills and knowledge so that they are ready to become entrepreneurs. After this training, we will continue to encourage them, the disabled, to become business people. Meanwhile, the head of Buleleng Social Community said that his party facilitated 13 disabled students who had graduated from high school with limited skills. Previously, a number of disabled people were given direction in a discussion regarding the types of training that were more attractive to them. Based on their decision, there are 3 types of training that we will work on, namely barista, cooking class, and bartender. So the initial stage is barista training today, and this is carried out for 13 disabled people. Regarding sustainability, Pak Made Eka admitted that he would provide assistance in the form of coaching so that a number of disabled people are truly ready to become business actors. In line with that, his party will also carry out further coordination with the Sampurna Entrepreneurship Training Center regarding business financing outside of training finance. Sampurna is ready to fund it, especially for its own incubator facility. For the time being, after training, we will provide internships there. And you know, recently I've been talking a lot about the economic situation in Indonesia and in Bali, and the widening gap, the social inequality gap between the people that got it and the people that don't. And here is an article about that. Proof that Indonesian citizens are getting more and more difficult, that life is getting more and more difficult. They're buying daily necessities using Paylater. Buy now, pay later, BNPL services are increasingly in demand to support shopping needs. It's no wonder that married couples with children dominate the Paylater user profile. The Financial Services Authority noted that the outstanding buy now, pay later financing of financing companies reached 7.8 trillion rupiah up through June 2024. This is 73.55% growth. From this achievement, the 2024 Indonesia Paylater User Behavior Report stated that married consumers actually use Paylater more than unmarried consumers. It is recorded that 52.9% of the total Paylater users are married consumers. This dominance is also reflected in the number and value of Paylater transactions over the past 3 years. In 2023, married consumers contributed 55.2% of the total number of transactions and 53.8% of the total value of transactions. Although married consumers dominate the number of users, single consumers make transactions with larger amounts. The predominance of married users increasingly reflects that Paylater is being used by married couples to meet higher living needs. Along with the still low access to credit in Indonesia, public demand for payment services that can help them shop for their needs without worrying about cash flow is increasing, he said. Even though it is more widely used by married consumers, the average Paylater transaction value is actually higher among single consumers, around $350,000 to $400,000 per transaction. Married consumers' average transaction value is $300,000 to $350,000. This indicates that single consumers rely more on Paylater to purchase higher value necessities. From this survey, it was also revealed that the more children they are, the more consumers buy products with Paylater. Paylater users who do not have children tend to buy 38 products with 11 transactions per year. Meanwhile, users with 1 to 2 children buy 48 products with 13 transactions, and users with 3 to 5 children buy 53 products with 13 transactions. And this is not a good sign for the economy. People using Paylater to buy daily needs, wow. Things are getting tough from some people. And that is it for today. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Always be kind to someone. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.